Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video and welcome to round 15 of season 2 of our F1 2010 career. Yes, we return this weekend out for the Singapore Grand Prix back at Marina Bay, of course. If you missed out on the video that went live a couple of days ago from Monza, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. Simply put, I got F1 2010. I felt like I did everything right during that Grand Prix, but the game had other ideas. It wasn't a bad race for us. We did still get a podium, as apparently still Colin Collins is interested in signing my services ready for next campaign. I still really want to avoid that because HRT have dropped straight back to the rear of the field. Taking a look though at our championship standings then as we head into this weekend, we are 3 points clear of Fernando Alonso, 4 points clear of Felipe Massa, and 21 clear of Lewis Hamilton. With Jenson Button 38 points back now, he's going to need to chalk up a couple of race victories if he wants to stay in the World Championship hunt. But yeah, at the moment, seems like it's going to be between Mercedes, Ferrari, and obviously Lewis did come up just short in Season 1 as well, so he will be looking for redemption. Constructors-wise, no real surprise, Ferrari leading the way ahead of McLaren and Mercedes. Force India, 1 point ahead of Red Bull in their battle going on a little bit further behind. Renault on 100 points exactly, BMW Sauber and Toro Rosso both on 50 points apiece, so there are definitely some championship battles going on up and down the order as well. Of course, like I said, if you're new, please make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed. We are mighty close now to 3k subs here on the channel. 5 races to go, including this one today. We need to bring our A game. We need to make sure that we are scoring big points against those Ferraris. No, I've just been put inside a Renault to start my first qualifying lap. And the autopilot. Well, that's not an ideal way to kick things off here, but we're ready in Marina Bay, and I must admit, I do really think the atmosphere around this circuit on this game, despite the fact you can literally see the skybox around the circuit, you can literally see the dome that the track has been built in. It's like, what was it, the Simpsons movie? All those years ago, if you guys remember that. That's kind of what it feels like around this venue a little bit. It's quite good fun though still on this game, and I'm hoping, of course, we had a pretty good run here last season in the HRT, but yeah, with 5 races to go, we just got to make sure, especially against those Ferraris, and I think honestly still Fernando Alonso is going to be the big threat between now and the end of the season. So yeah, we've just got to obviously keep on top of things, make sure, of course, that we're getting good results. I think, in theory, this should be probably quite a good track for us in qualifying. So I'm hoping, of course, we can just try and smash our way through, as maybe mentioning kind of smashing our way through this session whilst going through the Singapore Sling. Could have been tempting fate, but fairly clean and tidy that time round over the Anderson Bridge, very, very wide. But so far, the lap's all right. I mean, the big thing around this venue on this game, if you want to be quick and consistent around here, is just avoid the curbs, to be honest. You don't actually have to push that hard, at least in qualifying, to get decent lap times. Oh, skipping the outside barrier there. Lucky not to even pick up any front wing damage from that one. But yeah, as long as you avoid most of these curves, you should be okay. Does make the track feel a whole lot narrower than it would be otherwise, but flick it in through that final corner. A little bit wide on the exit, a 46.6. We go 3 seconds clear of Bruno Senna. It's definitely a lot more pace in it, but that should be enough to get straight into Q2. Well, there we are then, Hamilton fastest in Q1, but to be honest, with a pretty terrible lap, the fact that we ended up just 1/100th of a second away is a pretty good omen. Jenson Button, the only other driver to get within a second, so I think Mercedes and McLaren are going to be the teams to beat here. Red Bull, though, P4 and P5, so it would be useful for us if Ferrari struggled. Alonso down in 7th, Massa in 9th, just ahead of Karun Chandhok. That put his HRT inside the top 10. So, yeah, maybe HRT now starting to make some progress again. Both of their cars making it into Q2. Looks like both Williams out, both Caterham's out, Jaime Alguersuari, and then both Virgin's out. But HRT have got some real speed here. This track just seems to suit their car. Well, hopefully a bit less drama then as we go to start my first run here of Q2. Make sure I don't half spin out of that final corner. But now on the option tyres then, I mean, 45s, should be doable there, as definitely don't get up on that outside curb. 45s would be doable if I didn't immediately invalidate the lap at turn 1. There we go, first lap, obviously a complete write-off there. But I mean, look at that, Massa slower than Bruno Senna at the moment. Maybe this track really doesn't suit Ferrari then. I mean, it clearly seems to suit HRT better than normal, but that is a huge, huge warning sign for Ferrari then. Again, Felipe Massa doesn't have the speed to compete against what has been the worst car for most part of the season. Ferrari leading the constructors, HRT last. What a turn up for the books that would be, but yeah, let's just try and make sure that I get a good lap in. All well and good worrying about what the Ferraris are not doing, and I need to make sure I'm getting the job done. And look at that, Karun Chandok's got even quicker. Oh, a big snap oversteer there for us. That's not what we needed. So yeah, Felipe Massa, he just seems to be losing loads of time through this final sector, so I don't know if he got held up or kind of what's going on for him. I also love the fact that no matter the session, there is constantly fireworks going on around this circuit, so I guess obviously at this point it was still the only night race in Formula 1. And they are making sure that everybody knows it. Oh, big snap of oversteer through the penultimate corner there, but this lap's felt fairly hooked up. Run back to the line, 45-1, 4 seconds clear of those HRTs, and 4 seconds clear of my big title rival. Well, there we go then. It seems like we've got a bit of an advantage over McLaren, and McLaren have got a bit of an advantage over everybody else there. Renault, Robin Kubica and Vitaly Petrov 4th and 5th. Even Red Bull seem to be quicker than Ferrari as well there, as Alonso barely squeezes by into Q3 ahead of Bruno Senna. Our teammate, though, in a HRT sandwich at the moment, though, down in P12. So yeah, this weekend is really throwing up some anomalies, as Singapore so often does. I've just got to make sure we go out and take pole position. Heading out then, ready for my first lap of Q3. Make sure the wing is in the up position. That will give us a few extra tenths as well. Of course, Singapore is all about having basically as much downforce as you possibly can on the car. But yeah, I'll be honest, we need no messing around at the moment. I just want to try and get one lap in, one good, clean, tidy lap in. And then probably my goal come race day, when we try and park the bus ahead of both of those McLaren cars. But yeah, as we've said, Ferrari, they are our big rivals at the moment. I wouldn't even mind if Jenson Button wins, because obviously he isn't the biggest threat in the world right now. Hamilton, though, still a little bit close for comfort, so I'd rather try and beat him if I had to pick one of them to lose to. This is the thing in these final few races where there are so many drivers still in the hunt. You kind of got to pick and choose sometimes who you'd rather lose to in a race. This is, of course, the other big thing, as we well know in this game. Although, you know, getting pole position is super useful, it is no guarantee of Sunday success. AI's times can vary so much. Hamilton has just been disposed of at the top by his teammate Jenson Button, who's done a 46.9 there as we're getting really squirrely through the final couple of corners. One more turn, on the run back towards the line. It is going to be a 44.2. We're pretty consistent. That should be pole. Well, there we go then. Jenson Button just going faster than Lewis Hamilton come the end of the session. But yeah, again, Renault, Red Bull, they were a whole lot closer come the end of qualifying. Alonso will line up 7th. Felipe Massa will line up in P8, as Vitaly Petrov there just ahead of Bruno Senna in P10. Again, I'm sure HRT very happy with that. Like I said, though, I want to do what I aimed to do at Monza last weekend. Dominate at the front, and hopefully give you guys the most boring race I possibly can.
Okay, we've got 5 races left, and we're in with a shot at the driver's title. Give it everything.
I literally cannot see the lights here. Maybe the lights are on, and lights out, and away we go then. Luckily, I don't have to let out the gears ready for the start of this one, but immediately Button thinks about having a sneak down in turn 1. We will definitely get the elbows out there and make sure I hang on to the spots. Hamilton trying to look around the outside of his teammate as well. Luckily, there is a 0% chance of rain today, so we shouldn't have to worry about that, which obviously ultimately screwed us over last weekend out at Monza. Looks like Felipe has had a pretty good start as well, a little bit further back, but top 4, with the exception of the McLarens that have just swapped position, all look to be pretty much in the same order. Make sure, obviously, I get the wing angle up. Make sure I get settled nice and early on. I've just double-checked, but I'm pretty certain I am... Oh, no, it had defaulted me back to rich rev, so it's a good job I've double-checked that one nice and early on here, because the last thing I want is to run out of fuel leading the Grand Prix, so bring that back down to standard nice and early on, but I'm trying to go for the old Sebastian Vettel trick. Yep, not going to worry about moving the wing around today. The straights just aren't long enough here for it to make any real difference, and we're only getting up to 5th gear as we head down in towards Sector 3, but yeah, I'm going to try and go for the Sebastian Vettel strat today, of just try and dominate at the front early on, push to try and build a gap, and then make sure, of course, then after that we can just control things, and it is working alright for us so far on this opening lap. Hamilton and Button trying to hang fairly close, but we are stretching our legs. And luckily the car, even with full heavy fuel, feels pretty good here. Just got to be careful of a couple of curbs, but by the end of lap 1 then, I'm pretty certain it's the same top 2 as it was last weekend. The 2 Brits of myself and Lewis, but we've already got a 3.5 second lead. Let's careful. Whoa. Careful, careful, careful. That was a bit wild down at the first couple of corners. I was worried I was going to spin one way and accidentally ended up spinning the other, but we did have a decent buffer. That has immediately gone once again, as just make sure that I keep the tyres underneath us. Luckily, not as sophisticated as a modern Formula 1 game. That won't have taken a load of wear out of them or anything like that, but Lewis thought about a look down the end of the Raffles Boulevard. Can't make anything happen. See, you can already see on the minimap, your top 4 cars have broken free, so we have got an eye on what Felipe Massa's doing. No idea about Fernando. Well, slightly concerning then that it's not even the end of lap 3, and we're already starting to get tyre wear warning lights flashing up, so gonna have to be very, very careful with the set of the Option compound tyres early on. But Lewis Hamilton... Well, there you go, so McLaren immediately might be trying to put us under a bit of pressure up at the front of the order, but yeah, Hamilton really trying to push on. At least we know Fernando Alonso is not inside the top 7, because obviously he is now, obviously Kubica, then the Red Bulls, so we know Felipe's in 7th, so hopefully, it is still very early doors. It might mean, obviously, we can try and pull out some big points ahead of Fernando as well. Obviously, that Spaniard, you can never quite count him out. Always seems to chalk up some very good races. This race, though, last season was rather chaotic in the end. The AI did tend to make a lot of errors, so I'm kind of hoping that all happens behind me, and we can just avoid it all. Maybe that's too optimistic, I don't know. Really trying to take it a little bit easier through the Singapore sling, but I know the AI every lap will just throw it through there. Well, I am eagerly waiting for when the first AI are going to peel into the pit lane. I feel like Jenson Button might still be the first one to pull the trigger. He basically needs to go big or go home over the course of this weekend. I mean, he was the one that was kind of in the championship picture a long time before Lewis Hamilton was early on this season, but yeah, quite a few bad races for him, kind of as we've dipped in form as well. I really haven't left Jenson in a particularly great spot at this stage of the campaign, but Schumacher's steadily moving his way up the order just a little bit more. I could honestly be tempted to pit at the end of this lap. Already the tyres seem to be getting angrier and angrier, but I'm not making any major mistakes, so I normally aim to try and go 1/3 distance on the tyres, as Hamilton, he is still hounding us. Yeah, we're just trying to basically keep Hamilton at arm's length at the moment, not really trying to push to build the gap, because simply I don't think I can. Well, I've already told the team about 3 times this lap that obviously I'm going to be diving in, and obviously I want a set of the prime compound tyres. Will they listen to me though? Always nervous on this game, kind of when it keeps telling you options and you keep telling them, no, I want primes. I don't intend to make another pit stop in this Grand Prix, so we'll do it once more as we make our way through the final couple of quarters. There you go, prime tyres once again, but make sure we're clean and tidy on the way into the pit lane then. Hamilton's going to try and stay out. Looks like, Jenson Button. I've been done for illegal blocking, apparently. Not quite sure how that one happened, but yeah, Button into the pit lane as well. Dennis, come on, let me go! Oh, no, we had to wait there just behind Sebastian Vettel as he made his way into the pit lane. So that might have helped out Hamilton quite a lot then, but making sure, of course, that we wait until to deactivate, the limiter as well. We've come back out, though, still in P3. We're actually still ahead of Bruno Senna then, so Alonso now up the road, so at least we got eyes on him still in this Grand Prix, but all things considered, that pit stop could have been a whole lot worse, but let's make sure Hamilton doesn't overcut us. We know Hamilton will have been told to take every last little bit out of his tyres that he possibly could, but so far, just in Sector 2, I've taken over a second out of him, so Lewis, yeah, obviously will have gained a bit of time if he doesn't, well, he shouldn't get held up in the pit lane. Fernando Alonso is nowhere near him, but we really have tried to push on this outlap to make sure that Hamilton can't get away. Definitely feeling a lot more grip in the car here, a lot more ability to push. As there we go, Fernando Alonso into the pit lane as well. Have I been F1 2010'd again, though? I don't think we have this time. As Hamilton, oh no, there he is. Will Hamilton be out ahead of us then by the time he gets back out onto the circuit? Yes, he is. And Lewis Hamilton then, all the difference was just getting slowed down from Sebastian Vettel peeling into the pit lane. I don't know if we're going to be able to hound Lewis. Obviously, tired warming isn't really a thing on this game either, but he was hounding me throughout the entirety of that first stint. Is he now just going to be able to try and scamper away up at the front of the order? Only time will tell. But, of course, yeah, this doesn't just help me in the Drivers' Championship against those Ferraris. It also helps McLaren in the Constructors, so they'll be looking to take big points out of them today. But Hamilton now, for the second weekend in a row, on a different strategy, might be able to get the better of me. Ready then, just a lap later, basically now half distance in this Grand Prix. Hamilton has gone. He is completely checked out up at the front of the order then already. That gap now, 5 seconds to Lewis, and we're still setting PBs at this stage. Jenson Button now is all over my gearbox as well. So unless those McLarens have done something cataclysmically stupid, like opted for a 2-stop here, or Hamilton makes a mistake, you know, that's a 14-point swing in the World Championship picture. That could be the difference come the end of the season as well. So, I mean, at the moment, yeah, there's nothing I can do against Lewis. We've just got to try and bring the car home. There you go, Hamilton. I mean, we set a 43.8. Hamilton pulled out about another 3 seconds that lap, so he's running probably about 1 minute 40s. Sort of first warning, I think, of the afternoon. That's not what we want to be doing for now. We've just got to keep our head down. Well, we're reaching that point now after the first pit stops where the AI are just deciding they want to try and make me believe that we've got a chance here. Gap to Lewis back down to just 4 seconds once again. So, I mean, we are still pushing, just trying to see if we can squeeze an opportunity out of this Grand Prix. But, yeah, what will happen is we'll get to about probably 2 seconds behind Lewis, and then the AI will get good again right towards the end of the afternoon. Just a flash of brilliance from them. I mean, it seems so ridiculous, doesn't it? I remember banging on in the first half of the season about just how important consistency is on this game. You know, making sure week in and week out that you are picking up decent results. And suddenly now, I mean, obviously if we can stay here, it'll be 3 podiums in a row. We desperately needed that. The European leg of the campaign went so badly, but even then, we're kind of, you know, actually doing what I kept going on about, and it's still frustrating, just the way we're finishing P2, P3. But one thing I've definitely learned as well on this game is the AI rubber band, but in a really, really odd little way as well. When you get quicker, the AI seem to get exponentially quicker. When you go a little bit slower, you seem to actually gain time on the AI. Now, obviously, if I just came to a standstill, they would just go around me, but really kind of weird the way that, yeah, I set a PB, I'm like, oh, I would have taken loads of time out of Lewis, and I end up losing half a second. And then on other laps, I feel like, oh, that was a pretty bad lap, and I've taken a second back out of him, so it is rather peculiar. Button, though, seems to be beginning to struggle a little bit more as this race reaches its conclusion. 4 more laps after this one. You can see now we have got a little bit of breathing room to the car behind, but yeah, I mean, half a second up on this lap. Lewis Hamilton still inching away. This was not something I expected to say or late on in the day. Lucas di Grassi having a rather terrible time of things, and we've just lapped him. Doesn't feel like, unless we get some absolute carnage in races, doesn't feel like I lap people very often inside this game, but he definitely held up Lewis a lot more than he held up me there. That gap temporarily was back down to less than 4 seconds, but yeah, really weird as well, obviously. The Option tyre really wore out very, very quickly here. Prime tyre hanging in pretty much forever, as sometimes is the case, but not normally to this kind of extreme. Ooh, yellows, yellows. Someone's lost a wing. There's loads of debris down through the final few corners. Is there time still for another twist in the tail here? We are closing in on a lot of lap traffic late on in the afternoon. And while that first one held up Hamilton by a good 3 or 4 seconds, someone's had to peel into the pit lane. I mean, Lewis has been able to open up that gap just a little bit more once again, as that is definitely a minor corner cut, but imagine if we were still able to chalk back this victory from Lewis. He's definitely right underneath someone through those first few corners, but doesn't mean they'll jump out of his way either. Oh, we got someone span. Someone span. It's Lewis! Lewis Hamilton span! What on earth is happening? Less than 3 laps from the checkered flag, and by just sticking at it, not giving up, Lewis Hamilton now is back down to P3 in this Grand Prix. Jenson Button suddenly sees an opportunity here, but just like Mark Webber last year out at Monza, I said earlier on, this race can often provide a fair amount of drama on this game. Last season's race was chaos. That right there is why you never give up in Formula 1. 2 more laps to go. We still want to try and navigate this. I think it's a Force India or a Sauber, isn't it? Yeah, Antonio Liuzzi. Oh, don't get up on that curb. That one will quite happily tip you around. But Jenson Button now only 1 second away. Lewis Hamilton 5 seconds back. As we are just trying to make sure I keep it on the straight and narrow. What is Liuzzi doing? Running more uber defensive. Through those final few corners as we will get down the inside there. Hopefully not too much drama. I say that. Whoa, what is Liuzzi doing? So scary. We might try and get around his outside through the final corner, but this race is probably to be dramatic right towards its very conclusion. This Liuzzi again. Oh, very, very slow. I'll get around his outside. I don't know. Yeah, Button hasn't got round him yet. As Hamilton now suddenly closing back in once more. I think JB has cleared Vit Antonio then, so yeah, we'll get around him, but obviously, yeah, Force India powered by Mercedes engines, so they probably should think about what they're doing if they're going to, help out one of our rivals. But we hang on for now. Come on, less than 2 laps to go. But if I've learned anything about F1 2010, nothing is guaranteed on this game. I mean, based on Hockenheim, even after you've crossed the checkered flag, sometimes this game can still glitch out and give somebody else a victory, but I think by my count we have only won 2 races so far this season, Australia and Monaco. If we can win tonight, it will have meant that we've won on 3 different street circuits on this game, and nowhere else. Australia was carnage. Monaco, we definitely had the speed. Singapore, I felt like we've had the pace over everybody, not called Lewis Hamilton tonight. And he is still trying to close back in on Jenson Button and myself, but we've persevered here. It has been such a long time since we last won a race in this series, and I honestly thought after Hamilton got the jump that it wasn't going to happen yet again. Fuel warning light is only just flashed up, so we should be safe on this final lap from any kind of shenanigans with that once again, because that's always the other thing that sticks in the back of my mind. I would say the fireworks now on this final lap, but they have been here all evening in Singapore. But, I mean, I said earlier on, a 14-point swing one way or the other to Lewis Hamilton could be absolutely massive. It's actually going to be a 17-point swing, because he's not even going to finish P2 by the looks of things. Jenson Button, he needed a solid result tonight. Sure, he would have rather the win, but 2nd place for him, 3rd place for Lewis should mean as well that Ferrari lose out massively in the Constructors' Championship. But if this is the last win we ever get on F1 2010, I will be rather happy with it, to be completely honest with you. Kept it clean, kept it tidy. Hamilton, just one little mistake under lap traffic has cost him this evening. But under the floodlights here at Marina Bay, it is going to be win number 3 of this season for us. A huge win in the world title race.
Great drive! Great drive! You've dominated the whole weekend. Pole and the race win. Fantastic!
Well, there we are then. Our engineer very, very happy with that one. 9/10 of a second clear of Jenson Button come the checkered flag. Hamilton will be devastated to finish P3, but another solid result from Mark Webber in 4th there ahead of Sebastian Vettel. So it's myself, both McLarens, both Red Bulls, both Ferraris there as Massa gets the jump on Alonso. Bruno Senna and Karun Chandhok, though, do make it a double HRT points finish as well. So they might genuinely be building a little bit of momentum right towards the end of the season ahead of Vitaly Petrov there. Bit disappointed for Michael Schumacher. He wasn't able to capitalise today, finishing down in P13, as it was just Jarno Trulli that failed to see the checkered flag. What does that do to the World Championship? Well, it means now we've got a 21-point buffer all of a sudden back at the top of the table. Felipe 1 point ahead of Fernando. Lewis Hamilton a few points further back. So we would have been on 178. Lewis would have been on 164. So that would have been mighty close between him and those Ferraris. Jenson Button 45 points now back from the World Championship lead with 4 races to go. He basically needs to outscore me as much as he possibly can there. Webber's still ahead of Suttil. Vettel now back up into P8 as well. Kubica rejumps Michael Schumacher, still ahead of Liuzzi, and I'm hoping our teammate can hang on in the top 10 in the World Championship. Did the HRTs move up though? Bruno Senna now ahead of Jarno Trulli, and Karun Chandhok doubles his points tally for the year, as it's still Lucas Di Grassi, the only driver yet to score. Constructors-wise, Ferrari now just 33 clear of McLaren. McLaren have a further 34 points over ourselves, but we have all but guaranteed now that we will finish P3 in the Constructors' Championship. Red Bull rejump Force India, though, 21 points now, the buffer there as well, as BMW Sauber and Toro Rosso still tied on 50 points apiece. Yeah, Virgin now 1 point ahead of HRT, so there is all still time for change there, but our first win since Monaco. We get to go back to yet another interview room, but this time round, sat in the middle.
A clear victory there, and a car which looks to be getting stronger and stronger as the season progresses. You must have given some thought to winning the title by now.
We definitely want to be in that World Championship fight. I mean, we're leading the championship, 21 points clear, with 4 races to go. Surely it's ours to lose at this stage of the season. I'll certainly push hard to make it a reality.
You set your stall out this weekend with a pole position in qualifying, then really capitalised on this in the race. A perfect weekend, wouldn't you say?
Well, we have had a lot of pole positions over the course of the campaign, but not often do we convert pole to race victory. There you go. I can't fault a thing. A perfect weekend indeed.
I'd expect dusk and night races to present you with a similar challenge. You seem to be able to adjust to them without any problems, though. Do you enjoy these new types of event?
I do like these kind of different questions, you know, kind of more race-specific inside the game. I think, yeah, it brings even more excitement to the sport, doesn't it? That's fair. Surely other teams are going to want me with these comments. And there we go then. We'll head back to the base. Of course, next time out at Suzuka. Yep, there you go. HRT still interested in signing us. Nobody else, though, wants to sign me still, so yeah, we're really going to have to hope that we do win the title this year. Otherwise, I might be in a very, very terrible car ready for Season 3. Thank you all so much for watching, though. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back. 4 races to go. Next time we return to Suzuka, we've just got to do everything we need to make sure we get this across the flag.